The One Ring, an object of unimaginable power, corrupting even the mightiest of beings. Yet, in the hands of one, it means nothing. Who is Tom Bombadil, and why does Sauron's greatest creation hold no sway over him? Throughout Middle-earth, the One Ring corrupts everyone it touches. Gollum, Boromir, even Frodo. But there is one who is completely immune to its power. Tom Bombadil. Is he a Maia, a Vala, or something else entirely? And why did Peter Jackson, in his epic film adaptations, choose to omit this enigmatic figure? From Bag End's humble gardens, to the towering misty mountains, to the mysterious undying lands beyond the sea, every path tells a tale. Join us as we discover these wondrous lands together. Welcome to Middle-earth Unveiled. Tom Bombadil first appears in the Fellowship of the Ring, a jovial, carefree figure who resides in the Old Forest with his wife Goldberry. When Frodo and the hobbits are caught by Old Man Willow, it is Bombadil who saves them, singing merrily as if the danger means nothing. Let's delve deeper into Bombadil's appearances in the books. After rescuing the hobbits from Old Man Willow, Bombadil invites them to his home. There, we see more of his peculiar nature. He sings constantly, his songs holding power over the forest and its creatures. When Frodo, compelled by a strange impulse, puts on the ring, Bombadil can still see him. Even more astonishingly, Bombadil wears the ring himself with no effect, treating it as a mere trinket. But Bombadil's aid doesn't end there. When the hobbits are captured by the terrifying Barrow Wights, it's Bombadil who comes to their rescue once again. With nothing more than a song, he banishes these ancient evils, demonstrating power that seems to rival or even surpass that of wizards like Gandalf. Interestingly, Tolkien drew inspiration from various mythologies, and Bombadil may be a reflection of ancient folklore figures, those elusive beings who live beyond the reach of human ambition, much like nature spirits or trickster gods in mythologies across the world. It makes one wonder, is Bombadil the embodiment of a force older than the realms of men and elves? A force so ancient it is beyond the ring's power? Let's explore these theories in more depth. The Maia theory posits that Bombadil, like Gandalf and Saruman, is one of the lesser Ainur sent to Middle-earth. This would explain his power, but not his complete immunity to the ring or his apparent agelessness. Those who believe Bombadil to be a Vala often point to his immense power and his claim to be the eldest, older than the trees, the river, even the Dark Lord himself. As a Vala, Bombadil would have been present at the creation of Arda, which aligns with his profound connection to the land. However, there is another intriguing possibility. Bombadil could be Tolkien's way of showing a being that exists beyond the typical structures of power and hierarchy. It's almost as if he is an allegory, a symbol of the world in its most natural state, untouched by the designs of evil or the aspirations of heroes. In Norse mythology, Yggdrasil, the world tree, holds together all realms of existence, but is neither good nor evil. It simply is. Bombadil might be Tolkien's Yggdrasil, a fundamental force, existing to maintain balance. In a letter to a fan, Tolkien hinted that Bombadil stands outside the main themes of his narrative. He wrote,
Tom Bombadil is not an important person to the narrative. I suppose he has some importance as a comment. He represents something that I feel important, though I would not be prepared to analyze the feeling precisely.
Bombadil, then, remains a mystery, one perhaps never meant to be fully understood. If Tom Bombadil is so powerful, immune to the ring and untouched by its influence, why didn't Sauron consider him a threat? The answer lies in Bombadil's indifference. Where others seek power, Bombadil simply does not care for it. He lives in a world outside of ambition, and this makes him untouchable. but also, in a sense, irrelevant to Sauron's plans. In episode 1, we explored Gandalf's great restraint, his decision to refuse the ring because of its corrupting influence. Bombadil, on the other hand, doesn't need to resist the ring because it has no effect on him at all. His complete freedom from its power is what makes him immune, but also what makes him unreliable in the fight against Sauron. During the Council of Elrond, both Gandalf and Elrond acknowledge Bombadil's immunity to the ring. However, they also recognize that Bombadil cannot be relied upon in the battle against Sauron. He is too detached from the fate of Middle-earth, living in a world of his own. This reminds us of the indifferent gods of classical mythology, deities who, despite their power, chose to remain detached from mortal affairs. Could Bombadil's detachment indicate that his true role is more cosmic, even beyond the unfolding drama in Middle-earth? Let's compare Bombadil to other powerful beings in Middle-earth. Gandalf, though wise and powerful, must constantly guard against the ring's temptation. Galadriel, when offered the ring, admits it would make her a terrible and beautiful queen. Even Saruman, once the wisest of the Astari, falls to the lure of power. But Bombadil stands apart, untouched and uninterested. In some ways, Bombadil is a what if. What if the beings of power chose simply not to play the game, to live without the need to dominate or protect? Could the freedom Bombadil embodies be a hint at a better way of life, one beyond the cycles of conflict? Tom Bombadil's indifference to power isn't a sign of ignorance or negligence. It's a reflection of his philosophy. In a world obsessed with control, Bombadil chooses freedom. His joy comes not from ruling, but from living harmoniously with the world around him. This harmony is beautifully illustrated in Bombadil's relationship with his wife, Goldberry, known as the River Daughter. Their partnership seems to embody the balance of nature itself. Bombadil calls Goldberry the River Woman's daughter, suggesting a deep connection to the natural world. Their home is a place of peace and joy, untouched by the darkness growing in the outside world. Bombadil's connection to nature is most evident in his songs. Let's examine one. Old Tom Bombadil is a merry fellow. Bright blue his jacket is, and his boots are yellow. None has ever caught him yet. For Tom, he is the master. His songs are stronger songs, and his feet are faster. This song, like many of Bombadil's, emphasizes his freedom, his joy, and his mastery over his domain. The power in his songs is not one of dominion, but of harmony with the world around him. This theme echoes the ancient belief in druids or shamans who wield power not by imposing their will, but by understanding and aligning with nature's own strength. In many ways, Bombadil represents the ultimate rejection of power and control. He shows that there is a way to exist outside of ambition, outside of conflict. While others strive to dominate or protect Middle-earth, Bombadil is content to simply be. Despite Bombadil's fascinating nature, he is notably absent from Peter Jackson's film adaptations of The Lord of the Rings. This omission has been a point of discussion among fans for years. Jackson's decision to exclude Bombadil was primarily driven by narrative considerations. In a story already rich with characters and plot threads, Bombadil's appearance might have slowed the pace and confused viewers unfamiliar with the books. Moreover, Bombadil's immunity to the ring's power could have undermined the ring's threat in the eyes of the audience. However, Bombadil's absence does change the tone of the story somewhat. Without him, we lose a glimpse of a Middle-earth untouched by the shadow. A reminder that there are things in the world older and more permanent than evil. His omission makes the world of the films darker, more perilous, with fewer safe havens for our heroes. In interviews, Jackson and Philippa Boyens mentioned that Bombadil, though beloved, felt like a diversion from the core tension, the looming threat of Sauron. But for readers, Bombadil's inclusion is a breath of fresh air, a reminder of a Middle-earth worth fighting for, not just a land under siege. While we might miss Bombadil's merry songs and blue jacket on screen, his spirit lives on in the books, reminding us that there are some mysteries in Middle-earth, and indeed in our own world, that defy explanation and exist beyond the struggles of power. Tom Bombadil remains one of the most enigmatic figures in Middle-earth, immune to the ring, uninterested in power, and living outside the conflicts that define others. Whether Maia, Vala, or nature personified, Bombadil embodies a philosophy that stands in stark contrast to the power struggles that dominate much of Tolkien's work. In a world where even the wisest can fall to temptation, Bombadil's immunity serves as a beacon of hope, a reminder that there are forces in the world untouchable by evil. Perhaps in Middle-earth and in our world, true power lies in the freedom to resist the need for it. As we leave the mystery of Bombadil behind, we turn to another story, one filled with the allure of power and the consequences of its pursuit. In our next episode, we'll explore the creation of the Rings of Power, artifacts so potent and dangerous that even the mightiest beings in Middle-earth were tempted by them. Join us next time as we uncover the dark designs of Sauron himself and the creation of the Rings of Power. If even the greatest beings can be corrupted, what do these rings truly represent? And what will it mean for Middle-earth?